family was dead, Scrooge was alone, but why should he care? Why should he groan? He cared for his money, he cared for his wealth, all he could think about was of course himself.
He had his reason, he strongly decided. When he heard Merry Christmas, he forcefully defied it. Bah humbug, he says to his nephew one day when his nephew came by with a Merry Christmas to say.
Then later on, he deserved some man, for when they asked for charity, he called it a sin. He showed them the door. They left in a flash, for they were quite scared. They had asked for some cash.
Scrooge's clerk was happy. It was Christmas Eve. He was quite hopeful that he would get leave.
Old Scrooge gave him that, though he didn't want to, but quite hopeful that he would say thank you.
Scrooge left and went home. It was quite normal. He walked silently and acted quite formal. He arrived at his house. It was then that he knew that the knocker had changed. It grew and it grew.
It was Mary's face. Scrooge was rather frightened. He ran in his house, and his room was brightened. There was a noise. It came from the stairs. Scrooge's eyes enlarged like pears.
A ghost came. Scrooge let out a scream. It was Marley's ghost, and it was not a dream. The ghost warned Scrooge to change his way. Another ghost would come in a total of 3 days.
Then the spirit left. Scrooge didn't believe it until the first ghost came. He finally could see it.
The spirit took him to the past, where he was made happy, and made happy quite fast. He saw old friends, people he knew. He saw himself with some rather old glue.
Yes, he was at school and reading some books. He saw imaginary friends that had adventurous looks. Then he went ahead to when he was older. He saw his sister, her jailer could smolder.
He saw all Fezziwig when he was an apprentice. They worked quite hard to get ready for Christmas. Then his true love, who his great overtook, his love had turned to a golden brogue.
Then and of us, the spirits of past was gone from his sight. He was in best at last.
Then a large jolly giant splendid to see, and said to poor Scrooge, "It is me, the spirit of the present." The ghost was quite jolly. His head had a wreath formed out of holly.
He took Scrooge to see Christmas with Bob Cratchit. Of all Christmases, there was none that could match it. The food was quite scanty, yet unhappy they were not. They were merry perhaps. That happens a lot.
Then off they went to see nephew Fred. Many people were there without a feeling of dread.
and Scrooge drifted off and slept in his bed. He feared what was next, perhaps from the dead.
A phantom, as Scrooge had feared, was what came next. Was a spirit revered.
The ghost of the future cast fear all around, yet Scrooge went with him, though darkness would abound. He noticed many people talking of the dead. Quite happy they seemed o'er this man's final breath.
Scrooge saw no compassion for this poor man's soul. To see some caring he made this his goal, yet the only caring he found was from Bob Cratchit, who mourned for his son did catch it.
Tiny thing was that Scrooge was dismayed, but for the poor man, compassion delayed. But there was no compassion for this. I know that soul whose body lay in the coffin after life took its toll.
A light came on, improved Scrooge's mind, about the man who had died, and what he would find. The ghost of the future, the unspeaking spectre, brought Scrooge no comfort, the silent character.
Scrooge saw a grave, yet he feared to look, for he knew that his soul death already took. He begged the phantom, "Please, show me hope, show me no mercy. I don't think I can cope."
Scrooge was start awake. He promised to change his ways, a good and helpful person, for the rest of his living days. He helped poor Bob. He gave to the poor. Christmas lived in his heart from then on evermore.